Welcome, gentlemen and ladies, to our monthly period of when we congregate together to talk about the thing we love the best. We gather around in herds of nerddom and talk about the geeky pop culture world that we are currently immersed in. My name is Craig Lagan. Joining me, as always, are my fellow herds of nerds, the beautiful married couple of Damien Vargas and Foxy Fox, and our moderator, generator, enumerator, emancipator, and masturbator, Dan Calachico.
I hope you were going to say masturbator.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yes,
I don't know why. Why would you say masturbator? Oh.
I don't. Whoa!
You
Yeah.
knew he was waiting to do the sight
He
gag.
God
was.
damn it.
You knew he was waiting to do the
that-
sight gag.
that means
Usually I use my penis, but I can't because we're on live.
Yes.
Sorry.
And he
Foxy.
is happy to see us, folks, as you can plainly see.
Yes.
We've got a month's worth of geekdom, pop culture stuff to talk about. Plenty of toys to play with, plenty of things to unpack. Damien, you always come prepared with your lovely wife. You
Yep.
both have plenty of topics upon which to discuss. So I'll let you dip your dainty claw into the fishbowl full of novelties and tell us what we're going to talk about first.
Okay, so and in typical fashion, we do a little round table news bulletins to cover the month that has passed before going into our main topic. So that being said, we're going to just jump right into it. First and foremost, on a sad note, of course, is the passing of Chadwick Boseman, as we had mentioned. I mean, we had mentioned like Chadwick and Black Panther and everything from the very first rebooted episode, and here we are, what, 3 episodes later, unfortunately, covering this, and it's just deeply saddening, but just to then find out the story unfold of how like Denzel Washington paid for his acting classes when he was younger, and how he actually filmed all these movies while quietly handling this illness on his own quietly, and then making visits to children's hospitals and everything like that, like doing all these amazing things while sick and getting treatment himself and keeping it to himself. Disney unveiled, I think, just a few days ago, a nice mural for him in downtown Disney. I know there was a mural place someplace else as well. So yeah, I mean, that was a major bombshell.
Yeah, it's been very late.
Yeah. I mean, like, and again, like that role, like, him bringing that character to the screen, as you mentioned, Craig, when we first talked about it, was a big thing. It was a big cultural thing. Because prior to him, I mean, there was Blade in the early 2000s, but like to really jump into like the big screen and really make it was that character, and it was just like, I mean, it floored everyone. It came out of nowhere.
I still haven't. It still gets me every day, Damien, and I'm not even kidding when I say it's every day, because obviously I'm immersed in comic books and pop culturedom, and hearing that we lost Chadwick Boseman was maybe this in a year. That's nothing but bad news.
Mm-hmm.
This one hurt more than any, and I will put that over Kobe only because of, not just because of the suddenness of it, but because we had no idea, how sick he was. You mentioned earlier all the movies he did: Black Panther, 2 Avengers movies, a Spike Lee movie, and the movie that was shot right outside my door, literally 21 Bridges, all while he had stage 4 cancer, and shot these in between chemotherapy and hospital visit and surgeries.
Mm-hmm.
And he still went on and did stellar work, and still managed to keep a schedule and kept working. And no one would begrudge him any time to say, I can't do this, I don't want to do this. But not only that, but visiting the kids in the cancer hospitals, like you said, and being an exemplary friend and loved one. You mentioned Denzel Washington. paid for his school when he went to Howard University. I don't know if you heard the story when he was at Howard University as a freshman, when Angela Bassett, who was also a Howard University alum, came to visit for a speaking engagement. Chadwick Boseman was assigned to her to take her around and to present her, and he was a student liaison. Cut to
Yeah.
18 years later, and they're starring in a movie together, and they're Black Panther, and he had to remind her that, yeah, that was me. So this man had such a blessed life, and he blessed us with his presence. Black Panther wasn't just a cultural movie, a cultural iconic movie for African Americans or for African American cinema. It was just a damn good film. It's still the only Marvel movie nominated for Best Picture. It won the Oscar for Best Costumes. No other Marvel movie has done that. And as much as people want to say oh well, they want to give back and they want to reward inclusivity or diversity, this was a damn good film, no matter who made it or no matter what was. It's a Marvel film. It's an action movie, and it was the best movie of 2018. And there's no
No, it
way.
was fantastic.
Yeah, and
I mean, it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and the cultural
and
significance for us was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was just huge. I mean, he touched a lot of lives, and every actor that worked with him and everything. It was definitely heartbreaking. So unfortunately, again, Wakanda forever, as we say in the nerddom. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
Just on a technical thing, real quick. There's a slight delay. That's why you got just a heads up from going forward, just to make sure everybody gets a break. Because towards the end of that, you guys were kind of talking over each other. It wasn't either one of yours fault. There's just a slight delay, so just remember that, guys. Sorry.
Dan, it's called a debate. So that's what happens in a debate. You talk over each other. Everyone knows that.
Hey, shut up, man.
I still have a headache from that.
You guys watched it? I mean, that's funny because I already voted, so I didn't watch a goddamn second of it.
Okay, we're not going to get to this topic. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
I'm just saying.
Be quiet, please.
I mean, this person.
I'm just saying. I did,
I don't want to call it a nightmare because at least in a nightmare you get some sleep.
Can you be?
Anyway.
And you wake up.
And you wake up.
Anyway, go ahead, Dave.
Moving on. Unfortunately, I'm also coming out of today. We're gonna cross blend a little bit with like the Hell in Cell radio a little bit. News was confirmed earlier today. More stinky news out of 2020. Tegan Knox has unfortunately suffered her third ACL injury. I mean, poor girl can't. And I'm not going to say one of the best.
She can't catch a break, technically.
Yeah, Jesus.
No, if you tried, she'd break her fucking.
But like, I'm not even going to say one of the best women workers. She's literally one of the best workers they have in NXT, period. And like, unbelievable. Like her third. And so it's like, honestly, it's like, from a professional standpoint, like, when do you sit down and go and start really reevaluating things? Like, this is my dream and this is my passion, but in the course of 2-3 years, this is my third ACL. Like, and she's only in her like early to mid 20s.
Yeah. Well, I pointed to you, Damian. You've been in, as a former wrestler or current wrestler, and you deal with injuries. It comes with the job. If you're Tegan Knox, and you're obviously snake bitten, I don't know any other term to say it. Okay. Good news, you're in your early 20s, so you have plenty of time. But bad news, how long can you sustain a career with this kind of injury history?
Yeah.
This kind of susceptibility. What would you tell her if you could talk to her right now?
Honestly, it's just, if you're looking to stay into it, I mean, again, she's a great worker. She's a phenomenal worker. So this one, the question is, nobody really knows the answer to where this one came about.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't in the ring for a while, so nobody knows exactly to pinpoint when and where. but maybe start looking at looking at old tapes of herself and checking her footwork. Maybe I'm working still a little too fast or something like that, or change up my style a little bit, go for a little bit more of a technical style while not losing who I am. Maybe a little reinvention in what you do. But then again, also it's difficult though, because again, she is a good worker.
Yeah.
She's got good footwork and everything like that. Promo skills can definitely use some work, but in the ring, she's definitely good work. But again, it's just like you also got to look at it and go, shit, am I snake bitten? I mean, that's 3 injuries. I mean, her knees are going to be so bad in the next couple of years. She's going to be in so much pain just in her 30s in terms of her knees.
What would you tell her?
Yeah, I was going to say, I got to add to that. It other than just sitting around and reevaluating what can I change to not have this happen again, but also as a matter of take the time to heal. Do not feel pressured to rush back. We are in the day and age of the internet. No one's going to forget who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You've left already a great resume behind. No one's going to forget who you are. Take your time with your healing process. Everybody rushes to get back in the ring because they're going to lose their spot or people are going to forget who I am. No, they're not. They're not going to forget you. You have someone like Triple H behind you. He will give you all the time you need to fully rest, fully recuperate. I mean, hell, you've seen people like Edge come back. We've seen people like Daniel Bryan come back. There still will be something for her to do, whether she's at home resting and not doing anything, or whether she comes in and does just like backstage promo spots. She needs to rest.
Yeah.
Truly heal your body up before destroying it further.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this latest injury, while again a terrible setback for her, by the time she comes back, if she comes back, we'll have crowds. So what better way to come back
Yeah.
to get all the rest and time off you need, because when she is ready to go, there will be live crowds again. And what better way to make a return than like that?
Yeah, and because also given the timing of the ACL the 2 times she was out, at least no less than a year each time. She was out no less than a year each time. So again, hopefully speedy recovery to Tegan Knox.
Yeah, I would take 6 weeks just for a sprained ankle. Like, you gotta.
Yeah, you gotta
rest.
You gotta rest it up.
Something you would never, because you would never listen to me.
I just think of someone like Rey Mysterio, who's had 8 knee surgeries in 20, 30 years already, and people are going to go, "You're not the same." No, thank you for no kidding. Just on the 2 knee surgeries I had, and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I just 3 ACL tears, which is about 6 miles more up the pain and mobility issues that I had with the torn ligaments on both sides, on both knees, and trying to come back from a 3rd time. I don't understand. I mean, I could try to put myself in the mindset of not giving up, but still, it's so painful.
I kind of get it, because to an extent, when it comes to a wrestling injury, it could be very similar to giving birth, for example. Okay, I have 3 kids with Damien. Did I want to go past one? No, I did not. Labor with our first child was the worst thing I've ever been through in my entire life.
13 hours.
Okay? No pain medicine.
What
either.
fun.
Okay? Yeah. So, you go through all that. I'm never doing this again. This hurts. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But then, you're a parent, and you have that kid, and you forget about the pain. And you go, you know what? I'm going to do it again. And that's the same thing, honestly, when it comes to wrestling.
Right.
You get hurt, you're like, shit, this sucks. I don't know if I can do this again. What if I do this to myself again? But then you're watching it, and you're like, this is what I love. I'm going to do it again. It's very similar to the same thing.
Yeah.
The love you have overpowers any thought of I can get hurt and the pain and anything. It just...
Yeah.
Well, you're all nuts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wanted a 4th.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking about wrestling, but no.
And then the bite in the ass of it too is like just prior to she was saying, people keep talking about the injuries and the comebacks. She's like, I'm past that. I'm working better than I'm past that. And then
Dun, dun.
Yeah.
but moving on to our next two bit. But again, from all of us, hopefully speedy recovery to Tegan Knox, and hopefully things will work out. All right. Big bombshell news this week was the official cancellation of The Walking Dead.
Oh, well, I missed that.
Yeah, The Walking Dead has in fact
Everybody has.
been canceled. The final series, the series finale has been extended 20 to 24 episodes. The series finale is to try to wrap up all the stories and everything like that. Apparently, there is some potential rumblings that it was kind of COVID related because think of the scope of the things that it needs to do and everything like that. However, that doesn't mean we are seeing the end of The Walking Dead, as there's already talks of a Daryl and Carol spinoff.
Sounds like a buddy comedy.
It
Carol
really
and
does.
Carol fighting some crime.
Yeah, fighting some zombies. And also, what's already been greenlit as well is Tales of the Walking Dead, which is an episodic anthology. Each episode has its own individual story.
Point.
And this Sunday is the premiere of Walking Dead Beyond.
Yes.
Which is a Walking Dead series. I think it's parallel to the current Walking Dead, involving children or teenagers.
Yes, younger teenagers. Yes.
And I will just say this, Damien. You said the word canceled. I just thought they just announced that this would be the final season, not that it was canceled. It's still the most highest rated show on AMC.
Yeah, well,
and it may be COVID related.
Yeah, but the current, one of the current headlines that came out today, they use the word cancel. It all depends on who writes it. It all depends on who writes it.
Okay.
Well, point. Let's be really real here. Because when we still had the regular Nerdherders show going on, we did a lot of Walking Dead reports, okay? Because my brother's a super fan of that show.
Yeah.
I was heavily into it for one reason only. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this also comes at a time, too, where a huge fan base was lost to that show because first we had the actor that played Carl wanting to leave the show, and instead of giving it a bye, killing him off. Okay? So a lot of this is fans of chance there. Then we had the quote-unquote bombshell of the actress that played Maggie deciding to leave.
For bigger things over money.
For bigger things, for more money, basically giving a big finger to that fan base. And to be perfectly honest with you, losing those two characters really brought the show down a little bit, in the sense of, what the hell are they going to do? And I think a lot of people tuned in just to see what the hell were they going to do. It really has not been the same since you had all these main characters gone. So I don't think that them saying, hey, we're going to go for a final season, was entirely by just the season, the series is over. I think it was largely based on the fact of, we can't salvage what we did. We can't salvage what we did to fix the holes when people left. So let's just wrap it up.
Yeah.
And I'm more intrigued by all these other shows coming from it. I want to know about, whenever you see a zombie movie or a zombie series, it's usually the same spiel going on. I'm more intrigued by, okay, what is it like on an island? Are there, ocean zombies? How do they travel? How do they manage? What about other children? What are other communities doing? I want to see other stories, not just the same humdrum.
Which is why which is why I think the Tales of the Walking Dead is actually going to work out pretty decently.
Correct.
I wanted to see, and I want to piggyback on what you said, Foxy. I want to see them in different seasons, in the dead of winter.
Yes.
It's always hot in every single Walking Dead, no matter what incarnation. It's always dead hot, summer, sweat, all this. But I want to see them in the dead of winter. They had one or a couple episodes when it was a hurricane season. Why not more of that? Why not during a thunderstorm, or or an ice storm, or or flood, or something like that? Since they are in the South. I know with another big aspect of Fear the Walking Dead is coming back for their new season. with fan favorite Morgan, whom everyone loves and wants to see more of, and that those folks in that cast of Fear the Walking Dead. So they have at least another season with those, with that group, and with this Walking Dead Beyond coming up this Sunday. You already have a built-in audience that you're trying to, to build on. So if we say goodbye to the original Walking Dead, and I guess you have to know when you're a cast member on that show, you're going to have a shelf life. And when we've lost so many people, I mean, going back to to Glenn and to Abraham and to even the ones before that, when you lose Mad Dog, when you lose a character, you're going to lose a certain fan base because that person's dead. Yeah. So every time they lost someone, it's like you're losing more, especially the popular ones. And the hashtag, Daryl dies, we riot, and if he goes, I go, and that kind of thing. And certain characters have to be protected, but you lose enough of them. Even they didn't kill Rick, but Walking Dead without Rick isn't really Walking Dead.
Exactly.
I'm so far behind, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I love when the tiger died.
Yeah, she was like, Tiger died, I'm done.
Tiger died, I'm
I dropped out. Yeah, I dropped out after that first season with Negan, and I'm like, I pretty much peaked. And I wasn't. Go ahead, Craig.
I was going to say, Foxy, if I can tell you, when Sheba and in one summer, we lost Sheba the tiger in Walking Dead and the dragon on Game of Thrones. I cried more of those two imaginary CGI animals than I did with actual pets that I owned. So that's how far in I was.
I could top it. That was the same year we decided to watch Jurassic World.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! It's like that whole part with the spoiler alert. That whole part with the brontosaurus. It was like, okay, we're out, we're done. Check it out.
I walked out the room.
Yeah, I was I saw in the theater on a date, and I was trying not to cry in front of her when they left the island. When they coming back.
Right. Oh god.
Yes.
All right. So going from the sad and canceled everything, we're gonna let's pick it up a little bit.
Sucks.
Okay, we're gonna pick it up a little bit. It's been a while since we've done this. I used to have a little point on the shows back in the days, which was the WTF moment, the what the fuck moment. Okay, so this is going to fall into the what the fuck moment.
Okay.
Okay. So Mortal Kombat apparently leaked the next 3 DLC characters. Okay. One will be the return of Rain.
Wow.
Cool. Other will be Melina. All right. And number 3, John Rambo. Exactly. John Rambo.
What?
As the so I was like, she and I were discussing it yesterday. Okay, maybe this because they had the one Mortal Kombat 10 or whatever. They had Predator and Jason or whatever like that.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. So I said, okay, so this one had the Terminator thus far and RoboCop. So maybe they're kind of doing an 80s action thing.
Well, remember.
But still, like, where does Rambo fit in?
Because MK11 is all about time and changing and altering time. So Terminator, understandable. RoboCop, understandable. Rambo. Waiting for that.
And those were machines. Those were robots. Predator is an alien. You're bringing an actual human character, a movie character, into Mortal Kombat world.
But there's already humans in the Mortal Kombat world.
But you're bringing a John Rambo.
Rambo will fuck your shit up, though.
But in the realm of Mortal Kombat, I mean, okay.
Hey, fatality.
And all this stuff. Like, where does Rambo fit into this?
Inside somebody's ass with his foot is where he fits in. No, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. The Rambo thing, yeah, I don't know. Maybe John Spartan, since he's superhuman or whatever.
Who's next? John McClane from Die Hard?
I don't know. Like, I told her, like, her reaction, she was in the middle of doing something, and I says, John Rambo. And she just stopped what she was doing, and she went, huh?
I can see them taking the John McClane thing and him dropping somebody off the top into the pit of spice, going, "Welcome to the party, pal," or something. I don't know.
Like John Rambo.
It's more so an odd thing because when it even does come to DLC characters or even the quote-unquote mortal characters that are in the game, they all still fall into a sci-fi supernatural genre, I guess you can call it, a little bit of horror, a little sci-fi, maybe a little fantasy. So
where does this fit?
Yeah, Rambo so far has been the most 110% human character, I guess you could call it.
With no mystical science, no link, martial arts link, nothing.
Yeah.
He's a messed up in the head war vet. He's a tracker and all that stuff in a sense. Sets booby traps and everything. So how is this gonna work?
I would have accepted Demolition Man.
Demolition Man.
Yeah, John Spartan. That's what I said. Exactly.
I would accept John Spartan. I would have accepted that.
Even then, but if you're gonna go Demolition Man, why not Simon Phoenix, who's evil and who's genetically superior?
Yeah, because one learned how to kill people with his hands, and the other learned how to sew. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's knitting.
I'm Betsy Ross.
I love that movie so much.
I cannot get Kelly to watch that movie. I'm begging her to. I'm begging her to. I've been begging her for years. Please watch this movie. She's not a Stallone fan, and I'm like, how dare you? Go ahead, Craig.
Speaking just a little bit off, and we'll come right back on. Movies that you haven't. What did you think of The Last Boy Scout? Dan. Dan.
Foxy, did you watch Watchmen yet? I'm deflecting. I'm deflecting. I haven't watched it. Craig, it's in my watch list. I haven't watched it yet.
You're both on my list, but I don't know who to be mad at first. Seriously.
I'll leave.
No excuse for either one.
I'm leaving. Fine. I'm going.
Anyway, honestly,
come back, Dad.
No, on that topic, though, Dame, if I ever thought anyone should be a human should be included in a Mortal Kombat game, it should have been Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee, dude.
Or Bruce Lee. I just thought Bruce Lee would be too iconic, but Jackie Chan.
Like that, I want him on the screen going, "What?" Just taking somebody's head off.
Kick everybody's ass.
And before somebody says I'm racist, he made those sounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that will end up falling into some kind of weird rights.
That's a rights issue. That's a copyright.
Since UFC has already taken the copyright to use Bruce Lee in their games.
Yeah.
I don't
have they? Is he in their games?
Yeah. Yes.
Bruce Lee,
shit. Bruce Lee and Mike Tyson.
2 years ago. Yeah, one from 2 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the only reason I got it.
How is there not a major studio Bruce Lee game? We're gonna go off on a tangent here. I'm sorry, but how is that not a thing?
There's been Bruce Lee games. There's not been a good one.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like a major, like an actual one that's Oh yeah, I actually want to play this again.
The whole movie Game of Death is a video game. That's your video game right there. You go through every level to get to.
Well, moving on to our next topic because we got to approach our main topic. Okay. The PS5 and Xbox pre-order debacles. Woof. Woof. Okay, so starting with the PlayStation one, because I shared obviously a good one with you guys the night we were talking via text. We're going to get to that real quick. Okay, so the PlayStation ones obviously couldn't meet the demand and all this stuff. There was like all sorts of problems and stuff like that. Then of course, you got your scavengers putting it on eBay right away. And the favorite one I saw that I sent to you guys was the PS5 paper edition that's sold anywhere from $400 to $1,000.
It's so funny.
And now, if you are not wise enough, to read the description, because one person actually didn't put a description. One person actually didn't. I looked. If you weren't wise enough though to read the description, you would go, "Hey, I'm gonna get my PS5 and fuck it, I'll pluck $1,000 on this whatever this PS5 paper edition is." You would be greeted by an envelope with a paper of a printed copy of a PS5. No controller, no couch, just a picture of it and everything like that. Like the scamming got to that point on the PS5.
The other two best ones I saw, one's a joke and one was an actual I think an actual eBay thing they pulled down. The one was a PS3 next to a PS2, +2, +3, 5. And the other one was a PS2 wrapped inside of a white binder, which made it look like a PS5. I was like, look, a new PS5. Oh, it's brilliant.
It does look like that. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that.
God.
And then now, coming out today, the first wave of pre-orders are not going to have a problem.
Okay, but
Second and third wave will be delayed upwards to next year.
Oh my
Some
God.
of them are even being canceled, including in the UK. So
wow.
if you weren't on the very first wave to pre-order your PS5, you're looking at upwards of not getting it till next year.
Wow.
What a cluster. I part of me is I can't figure out, and people are going to say, well, we got to move on with our lives. Okay. How that they thought during a pandemic that they were going to roll this out seamlessly and not have problems.
People are broke.
While people are broke, while there's non-availability of supplies supplies, we're not dying here, but I mean supplies to build the machine. I'm blown away that they went through with it in the first place.
But
Oh God.
not to be outdone.
Caught that on
Microsoft
camera.
said, no. We're going to be the kings. We're going to be kings when we win things, and we're going to be kings to fuck this up better.
We're going to sell a mini fridge.
So, the day Microsoft releases their Xbox One, there's like a known gamer that I follow on Twitter. Her and her husband, she was upstairs, her husband was downstairs. They're both logging onto the Microsoft store directly to pre-order them. He can't get on at all. It's not working. She gets booted off. But she said, but after about an hour, she finally got one. So that one had a problem. Some people then went on to said, fuck it, I'm gonna go to GameStop. Click the link. Sorry, the item you're looking for is not on our website. They were nowhere available on the GameStop website for some reason. And then you had to refresh, and then you finally got it. And then when people went to go check out, it was taking it out of their shopping cart. It said, you are not, and then one of them person says, we cannot ship this to your country. And the guy's like, I live in the United States. Like, huh?
I'll drive to the factory. Just what are you talking about?
Yes. So Xbox done beat it out even worse in terms of the debacle. But like now, like I said, now PlayStation released today that second and third wave pre-orders are not going to be available till next year.
Oh well. As far as the PlayStation, as far as Xbox goes, if I didn't have the Xbox One S, I would have probably gone with Xbox on this latest console generation.
Well, the missus here, I'm going to let her take it over a second. She actually has specs, which she's been looking at for a while now, and then she's finally got it like all put together. So
And also, remind me to tell you a GameStop story that's after the console discussion. Go ahead, Foxy.
Got it.
Well, to those that did manage to pre-order either a PS5 or the PS5 digital or the Xbox or the Xbox digital, well, congratulations, you have a brick, because everyone knows never get the first wave of video game consoles. They are terrible. We've had the very first wave of the Xbox One. It is a brick, okay?
But look at it this way. If somebody ever breaks in, you can just pick it up and chuck it at her face.
So, just have fun with that and all the bugs and the problems and the patches. Have fun. But either way, one of the things that a lot of people were really liking about the new consoles is the chance to get an all-digital version, which I suppose is cool. Sometimes I prefer a physical copy. However, within all of this, everyone's like, oh, well, Sony wins, blah, 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 because Sony always wins everything because, oh, Final Fantasy. But, again, everybody was clamoring for the PlayStation digital version. But
Diddler version.
Spec-wise, children, spec-wise, Okay, so the Xbox Series X is $299 in
Mhm.
comparison to the PlayStation 5 Digital, which is still $399. Now, the Xbox Digital, we have its dimensions, 2.5 inch width, 5.9 in depth, 10.8 inches tall. With the PlayStation, we know that it's about 4 inches deep, it's about 15 inches tall, but the width is still to be determined. So it's very good. Both support the same resolution. Cool. The Xbox Digital has a 512 gigabyte memory with a SSD storage drive. The PlayStation Digital version storage size is yet to be determined. And obviously there's no disk drive on either, but how can you support a console and say, yeah, I'm pre-ordering that console when you literally do not know anything that you are getting yet?
Because we went, I want, without really looking at.
Yeah.
So go ahead and go get your digital Sony, PlayStation, whatever, with a to-be-determined storage size, only to find out you're going to have to drop X amount of dollars to get an external storage drive for it. If you don't already have one, in which case you're probably going to have to delete everything off of that to make room for everything you're going to have now, because, backwards compatibility is not a thing when it comes to Sony PlayStation.
Ba-rum-pum-pum.
That was what I was going to attach to the end of what I was saying earlier before you read the specs. Was what turned me off. If I didn't have the console, the 4, everything I had now, I would have bypassed the 5 because of that backwards compatibility thing. I at least needed to play PlayStation 4 games. If you can't go all the way back, I get it. It's a cop out, but whatever. Fine. I needed to at least play PlayStation 4 games for me to spend that money. But PlayStation 3, I got very lucky. That original box, that thing is still being used by my sisters at my parents' house. That thing is fallen down a flight of basement stairs, and that original PS3 still works like it's brand new. The PS4 is a paperweight in my closet. Because not only did I have a problem with the eject button, with the static electricity activating it in the middle of everything, watching an app or playing a game, you'd hear beep, 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 beep. The disc would eject and it would shut down, and it would just go into a cycle until you took that effing thing apart.
And you can't turn it off.
You can't turn it off. You got to pull the plug. I got a PlayStation 4 Slim. I didn't get the Pro because it doesn't. The 4K capabilities are. I got the Slim PS4 Slim. Great, perfect. I have zero problems with it. Zero. And I like the Blu-ray HD capability because I'm also a digital. You see behind me. I like physical media. I have 4Ks and Blu-rays, and until they force me to stop buying them, I'm buying them. The Xbox One S, I had original Xbox, which it did its job, but I got the Xbox One S for the HDR, and because it was cheaper than another PlayStation 4, and it's a beautiful box. That being said, that PlayStation 4 release, that turned me sour to ever buying a PlayStation console brand new again. Second wave or second version, second serial number, whatever that they do, that I'm not, there's nothing you could have told, unless they announced that there was a Ghostbusters 2 video game, a sequel. If there was a sequel to the Ghostbusters video game, they said this is day of release, here's a Ghostbusters edition to PlayStation 5. Okay, I'll work the corner and I'll get the money for it day one. That didn't happen. That you didn't sell me. Even Harry, I know Harry said he was going to wait until God of War was available before he even thought about ordering it. There's no reason to get a version 1 of anything anymore because games, consoles, they get rushed out and they work it out as it goes, and nobody got time for that.
Yeah, seriously.
Plus, not only that, but without the backwards compatibility being available, what is the point of getting it right off the bat, knowing full well there's only a limited amount of games, with the exception of on the PlayStation Store digitally.
There's zero reason.
Exactly. Like, there's a limited amount of games already coming out for it because, of course, everything's stalled with COVID, etc. So you're going to have to rely on the digital service to begin with. So for all of that, just hold off.
Yeah.
No. Consumerism.
I have a house to buy at the end of the year. I couldn't buy it anyway. But yeah, I can totally see when they, make it 4 times smaller in its version 2. I'm going to buy the hell out of that. I'm definitely getting it down the road, but there's nothing you could have done, honestly, to convince me, aside from a Ghostbusters game. That was it, and that wasn't happening, so I wasn't worried about it. To day one PlayStation 5. Not at that price, no chance in hell. And I don't want digital because, again...
Yep.
Exactly. All right. Craig,
Exactly,
you got
Harry.
anything on this?
Oh, do I have any what?
Do you have anything on the topic?
On PlayStation. No, I've been a PlayStation guy since the very first console, and I've always done what Foxy just advised all of our fans to do: wait. Every PlayStation I ever bought was a year after it came out, or a year to year and a half after it came out. Wait for the price to go down. Wait for the volume of games to go up. What I love about PlayStation, there's always plenty of games to play. So I've got plenty of games to play on my PS4 right now until this PS5 comes out. Price goes down. The library of games gets built up, and then I get so. But I'm a PlayStation guy. I've never owned an Xbox a day in my life. But I'll wait because it's Sony. Come on, like you said, it's Sony. Final Fantasy. But yeah.
I mean, I think at this house, Craig, I think we have at least every version except for the remake of Final Fantasy.
Okay.
7. I think we have every single one
No,
of them.
remake of Final Fantasy is beautiful.
I was just counting, just to prove that I'm a PlayStation guy and that I'm just not being picky now. I still have 17 PlayStation 1 games and 22 PS2 games. I've been there, done that.
I only say the Final Fantasy joke because anytime it ever comes down to like the console wars or when it comes down to E3,
Right.
Microsoft can literally pull everything out of their ass and it looks amazing, but Sony will literally go, "But we got Final Fantasy."
Final Fantasy.
It's like,
I mean, not for nothing, Microsoft kind of just pulled everything out of their ass coming up. I guessing Damien's going to mention this. I don't know. Do we know what Dan is talking about?
The potential remastered Mass Effect trilogy?
Well, I didn't even think of that shit. Yeah.
That's all I care about.
I was talking about their acquisition of Bethesda.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah, Final Fantasy? That's nice. We have...
Okay, look, Dan and I, we've had this subject since the days of ECWA when we both discovered we had the common love of the original Mass Effect series. And I'm just like, okay, just drop me the news in November already of the remastered collection. I don't care. I played 2, I don't know how many times. And I will totally get the remastered collection and play that one again, too. I don't care.
Yeah, you know what? I still haven't played the last one.
You didn't play the last one?
Was it Andromeda? No, I didn't play it. I never got around to it. But I've played the first 3 like 3 times. I've played the third one twice, but I've played the first and second one like 3 times each, all the way.
Yeah,
I like fucking as many people as possible.
Yeah, whore.
You space whore.
Oh, in the game too. Sorry.
Hey ho.
Hey, all right, moving on. Our final quick little tidbits will actually start leading us towards where we're going on our main topic because they all have to do with retro reboots and stuff, or documentaries and stuff like that of that nature. Okay, so the first one is we finally got a release date for the Saved by the Bell the next thing of Saved by the Bell coming out on the Peacock, and they dropped their date trail today of November 25th. And I gotta admit, the new Save, it looks fun. I mean, again, we're from that generation, so of course, and I love that it kind of pokes fun at itself in terms of the older stuff. You know, like, you know, they have Jesse come in, and those caffeine pills and all this other stuff. You know,
Excited.
really exciting. It's like, so we finally got a release date on the Saved by the Bell thing, which again will be November 25th on the Peacock, which I still think is a horrible name
It
for.
really is.
It's a horrible name for a streaming network.
I like it,
so
but not for that network.
Yeah, exactly. Also, we got two very cool documentaries headed our way involving things from the 80s. One is called The Orange Years, which is basically the origins and beginnings of the Nickelodeon network, or AKA the anti-Disney Channel.
We guys going somewhere totally different.
The way things are going, I was like, oh no, that's not. No, I don't want to watch that.
No, they released a thing called the trailer for The Orange Years, and if you're a fan of a lot of the Nickelodeon, you know, all the stuff, you know, you can't do that on television, and
Hey Dude,
and Rugrats and all that stuff. It's all Ren and Stimpy. It's all mentioned in there, but it all mentioned, like, you know, how, like, they were like, we think there's no way this is gonna work, and like the woman who created it literally was like, I'm gonna be fired in a week coming up with this idea like that, and then, you know, Nickelodeon taking off to what it is. So there's that.
Is it going to mention Pinwheel?
It's probably gonna mention everything.
Please, pinwheel spinning around. No, anybody? No.
Nah.
Oh,
Wait,
Pinwheel.
House?
No, Pinwheel was it was actually called the Pinwheel Network first, and it was there was a show called Pinwheel which still aired when it was called Nickelodeon, called Pinwheel, which was kind of like an alternative to Sesame Street. And I'm the only old asshole that remembers that show. Thankfully, everybody finally came around on the other show. I only remembered up until 10 years ago, which was Zoobly Zoo, which everybody all of a sudden remembers that.
I know Zoobly Zoo.
Hell yeah.
Zoobly Zoo.
Ben Revere for life, buddy.
Yeah, Ben Vereen was in
Vereen, yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All of a sudden, people are like, I remember Zoobly Zoo. Yeah, where were you for the last 30 years?
I know Zoobly Zoo.
Son of a bitch.
Also, another really cool documentary that I'm actually looking forward to is Wolfman Has Nards, or Wolfman Got Nards, which is basically the documentary of Monster Squad and how this little film that didn't think was going to be anything became a cult classic, and it has a huge fandom and everything like that. And of course, appearing in this one because he was a big Ghostbusters fan, so of course he was in the Ghostbusters documentary. Our good friend Matthew Cardona appears in this one too, aka Zack Ryder, because he's also a huge Monster Squad fan.
He's just a huge nostalgia.
Yeah, he's a huge nostalgia.
He just likes Monster Squad because there's a 59 caddy in it, and that's what the Ecto-1 chassis was.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Sorry, I just threw that nerd reference in so hard it's not even funny.
But yes, we actually have a Wolfman Got Nards documentary coming about.
Awesome.
It's crazy though, because like they show clips of like the conventions and the gatherings for it, and I'm like, there's really a thing for this? I did not know this existed. Where the hell was I during this?
Right.
Know? Like, what the? And then they like the main one they showed was, you know, the cool kid out of the group with the leather jacket. They showed him all grown up, and it's like, you didn't grow much, did you? No, he's like still the same height, still little kid voice, just white hair and a couple pounds
Just a
heavier.
little guy.
Yeah.
That poor thing.
So definitely, if you have not yet, at least check out the trailers for The Orange Years and Wolfman Got Nards. Now the last one is going to cause this month's Foxy Nerd Rage. We've got privy to the Craft Reboot Continuation.
Reboot, make a convention con of Travaxtanza thing.
And go!
No, our friend Joaquin said it nicely. This is a reboot quill.
Reboot quill.
It's a reboot quill. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But to preface, I'm not going to do what everybody thinks I'm going to do and like flip out. Okay? No, I'm not going to do
Thank
that.
you, Jerry Maguire.
Okay? I obviously love the original movie, The Craft. Okay? Even though back then it bothered me a bit because I was studying witchcraft before that, and then that came out, and then everyone's like, oh, I'm a witch. I'm like, go fuck yourself. But I'm not entirely mad at this movie. I fully accept the fact there will be a but. Hold on. I fully accept the fact that this movie is not made for me. This movie is made for young adults right now. It is not made for me. I get it. It was, the trailer though was confusing because again, it showed that this is a remake, but then it showed that no, this is a reboot, but then it showed no, this is a sequel. So of course I'm sitting here confused. You know, they say, oh, it's a whole new story, it's a whole new take. However, they're following the basic storyline of the original. They have exact quotes and scenes from the original, but then they lead to it in being a sequel by showing a Polaroid photo of the lead character, Nancy, from the first craft, which, might I just say, would be impossible to get that Polaroid photo of her from the original craft because the scene in which that photo was taken was a scene from the movie. Nobody had a camera. Okay? So I'm just going to put that there. This version of the craft does not touch on much of the dark parts of it like the original craft one was. The original craft was rated R, labeled as a horror simply because of the theme of witchcraft, whereas this one seems a little bit more fantastical. There's a little bit more CGI footage within the trailer, which lose it to being like Disney made it, like it's just too glittery and mall witch for me. Not 90s mall witch, like now mall witch, because 90s mall witch was Hot Topic, and this mall witch is like Forever 21.
Hot Topic now.
Hot Topic now. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hot Topic now.
I don't think I should be talking about this. I'm an old goth woman.
No.
I am an old goth woman.
No
I
way.
am that old goth chick.
You're a hag.
I am.
You use the H word.
Oh my god, I am.
You never use that word against it to a witch.
That's cool.
That's why I said it.
Oh wow.
That's important.
Well,
Okay.
Fox, I hate to break it to you, but are you? I'm sorry. Are you finished? Did you want to?
I just wanted to end it all off with the fact that I don't hate it. I know a lot of people probably would expect me to hate it because I'm anti-remake because, you know, I'm very pro-original idea. But again, this isn't made for someone like me. This is made for a younger audience. Maybe a couple new baby witches will come out of this in real life. And that's awesome. You know, let these girls find some spirituality in the crafts. That's great.
Yeah, future hags.
Yes, future hags. So, I mean, I accept this. I accept this one actually more than I accept the Charmed reboots. And I don't know. It looks like it could be good. I'll watch it eventually. I'm not running to watch it.
Just
but
forget it's connected to anything.
yes, just take it as it is, and I'll watch it eventually, and I'll probably scream and shout. But you know, I'm not hating it. I'm the wise old hag that's saying it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's so mature of me.
I'm so proud of you, my little girls growing up. Yes, I have to say, you know, all the things the topics that you mentioned, Saved by the Bell and the Craft and Wolfman's Got Nards and Monster University. You're lamenting your age or your oldness, Foxy. If you're old, then guess I've got one foot in the grave because all those things you named came out when I was in my 30s. So I missed all of that. I've never seen one episode of Saved by the Bell. I've never seen one episode of anything on Nickelodeon. Again, I was in my 30s then, so I missed all that. I had not even in any Ren and Stimpy or anything like that. I was too busy forging my path and looking for a career and not getting laid and all that other stuff to even worry about that stuff. And the Craft, I know what a big hit that was for young women, not just for young Wiccans, but for young women, because there was no female empowering movies back then for women of that age. So that it was the Craft, and that was it. This is way before, Friends, or way before the Charlie Daniels movies, or just any female
Yeah.
team empowering film. So I know The Craft is a touchstone for many a
Oh,
young
yes.
woman of your generation. So I can understand the jadedness or even the, and I just from social media. I didn't know there was one, Foxy, until I saw it on social media. Every woman your age freaking out that there was a Craft anything. To them,
Mhm.
to a lot of them, that movie should not be touched. It shouldn't be remade.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be rebooted. There should be no sequel. It's done. It was a perfect movie for that time. Great cast, great looking cast. Everything it ended, and you have that to hold
Mhm.
on to as a symbol of your youth. To bring it back, even if it has any connection to the original, the best way to look at it is through fresh eyes. You said
Yeah.
it's not for you. This is for a new generation of future hags. It may be great and may suck. I'm sure you'll watch it with your arms folded and that kind of thing, and it may take you a couple of tries to get through it. But I want to I'd like to hear your take on it when you do see it. But I know it was not met with any type of positivity. I'm
Mhm.
of all even in my own family, my niece who I took to see the original Craft, she was upset that there was even talk of any type of new Craft. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel your pain.
I mean, from a teenage girl growing up standpoint, yes, total female parent, like you said. And
Mhm.
again, this is gonna be that for this generation. I'm totally cool with that.
Mhm.
I mean, again, I haven't seen it. When I do, I could judge it more fairly from a witchcraft standpoint, though. This one isn't as rooted in real witchcraft as opposed to the original either. Like the
Right.
original, they had Wiccans on standby to really help them go through the motions of the actress that played the shop owner in the original Craft was a high priestess. Um,
Mhm.
Two actresses from the original. The one that played Nancy Roosevelt, she ended up buying and owning her own witchcraft store in California. Rachel True, she is a practicing Wiccan to this day
Yes,
and
that I
does
knew. Yes.
tarot readings and has a book, and she's paved the way for women of color in the Wiccan tarot and occult world. So it's quite amazing.
Mhm.
I hope that brings to light to the younger generation the same thing, and it doesn't make it all fluff and glitter and love spells. But beyond all
Mhm.
that, Craig.
Yes.
So I was told to watch Watchmen, and
Yes.
Dan was told to watch The Last Boy Scout. I think you need homework now. I think you need to watch Saved by the Bell.
I really don't think I need to watch Saved by the Bell. See, what I'm giving you, it is not a do as I say, not as I do
You
type deal.
flake! You
No,
goddamn
no,
flake!
no.
Yo,
What?
yes it is.
Can I no, can I
Oh,
finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Why? Now this is not um I've had ample opportunity to watch Saved by the Bell. Again, I've had 30 years to watch it. When it came out in the 90s on Saturday afternoons or Saturday mornings, I was sleeping way into the afternoon. So I missed every Saturday morning cartoon or whatever that came about. Say, most of the 90s shows I missed. Saved by the Bell, Boy Meets World, Full House, missed all of those. The reason why I have no interest in seeing a Saved by the Bell, watching that show now, is because I've seen so many uh, scenes from it. I've gotten to know so many of the characters from there. I saw Showgirls in a theater, so I don't need to see Elizabeth Berkley as a young woman.
You
Really, really
paid
don't.
money for that movie?
but you do.
It
Yes,
throws it into a different
and I
context.
but it didn't grab me back then. Fox is what I'm saying. Like, 'cause I've had more than enough time to sit down and watch it, and I had no interest in it just because I didn't. It does not resonate. It doesn't touch me. It doesn't resonate with me. I had the same feeling as I did when Breakfast Club came out. Breakfast Club came out the year I graduated from high school, and everyone on earth is saying, "Oh, this speaks to your generation. This is John Hughes made a film for your generation." Didn't speak to me. This is the most non-diverse cast I've ever seen in my life. All I saw was rich white kids with problems. I'm supposed to commiserate with that? And it's the same thing with Saved by the Bell. You get Lark Voorhees, great, but
that is exactly why you should watch it, because
Making fun of white people.
You will get to see and get infuriated over best examples in the world of
White people.
You will learn the downside of taking caffeine pills when you want to study.
that's
But
so
you have
excited.
to sing the next day.
And Foxy, I'm not saying no to your request. I'm only putting it in the proper context. Dan, I asked you to see a movie that's 30 years old. That's just one movie. That's 90 minutes of your life.
Yep.
Foxy, I'm asking you to watch Watchmen, which won 7 Emmys, and it's only 8 episodes of the most historically important culture graphic novel of our times. Okay? You're asking me to look at a series of 8 seasons of crap.
No,
You understand?
Watch one episode replay on TBS.
I was going to suggest even just one season. Just one season.
One season. Which season?
One
You pick a season, I'll watch. Because I've seen
Okay.
episodes.
No, don't, because that means I'm going to have to watch The Last Boy Scout, and ADD is fucking, I'm not going to remember to do it. No, go ahead. Well, no, look up. We have a month. Next month is our Halloween episode. We're all going to be dressed up, so we have a month to. He can watch one season. You have to watch Watchmen, and I will watch The Last Boy Scout tonight.
I just had to throw something out there because we all have watch homework, and it was like, oh, wait a minute.
We got something. We were just trying to get something on Craig.
And you went with Saved by the Bell?
Yes.
Wow. Setting the bar high there, huh?
Homework for Danielle wants homework for Damien, and Harry says, I'm still in shock Craig is as age as he is. Yeah. Harry's over there. Harry's over there talking about how good he looks. Craig still looks 20 years younger than Harry.
No, in all seriousness.
No, seriously,
that
like
is true.
that's we would never figured you're above us like that.
Yeah, I know. No, I know that's true because I still think he's younger than me.
I'm very immature, so that helps.
Oh, thank you.
That being said, to preface to reference
Jesus
SNLs of
Christ.
old and preface the return of SNL, that's the news, and I am out of here. See, I'm with it too.
Yeah, see, you're old too. Look at that.
Yeah. Kiss my
See,
ass.
I'm always remember the very first episode.
Hey, guys.
I watched that.
Hey guys,
By
let's
the dumb.
let's talk about something for a second. Harry says I look 40 years older than I am. What do you guys think?
I think you look at least 20 years older than you are.
Thank you.
No, I would peg you for mid-30s.
Thank you.
I would
Yeah.
still say, I would say early 30s.
You would say early 30s? Fuck you, Harry, you bald bitch.
All right, that being said, so these 80s documentaries are like that are leading us into our main topic of the evening, or our main discussion, rather. This is the real debate, the true debate, the debate that everybody wants to know about. Playtime is over.
Bullshit.
So basically, it's from us quickly just, talking yesterday about, Dan's new toy, as always. And we're going to basically compare, though, like, toys / playtime from our generations versus now, where it's just like, especially for us as in a parental position, where it's like toys have now more so made a transition to like collectibles, in the sense where it's like, you go to Target or whatever like that, like how do you select like a toy for your kid that's kind of cool without it just being, but it's like, oh no, wait, that's a collectible. They really can't, I don't want to spend the extra money for them to play with that because it's a collectible. Or the Funko debacle, like you mentioned, or the G.I. Joe Target debacle that I have mentioned. And
Or how we've even talked about, and just been watching YouTube, how, all these super cool things were literally made just for the rich white kids in the suburbs that you could never get.
like the USS flag.
Uh-huh.
The USS flag.
Or Castle Grayskull.
I had Castle Grayskull.
Or She-Ra's Princess of Power Castle.
Yeah.
Which I had via my dad finding it in a rich white kid's garbage because he was a garbage man.
Exactly. So, let's start out with Craig. Since Craig's got us in terms of like, he'll know things more than we do. Sort of like, what were like your greatest like toy memories, or like the greatest toy you had, whatever you remember coming up as a kid that was like, yeah, this was a toy, this was it, this was a thing for me.
Damien, I'm going to tell you a story about my personal hero. Um, and I don't even care if I'm dating myself because other than Bruce Lee, Evil Knievel was all I lived and died for. Evil Knievel, listeners of Nerd Herder, was the original Daredevil. He jumped his motorcycle over buses, over many cars, tried to jump the Grand Canyon once, but broke every bone in his body many, many times over, but always walked away. He dressed like a superhero. He had the stars and stripes everywhere. He rode a motorcycle with wheelies and had a cape. He was a superhero to me because no matter how many times he fell and he got right back up and he wanted to do it again. He broke every bone in his body, his back, every bone in his back, jumping 13 buses at Caesar's Palace. He came back and jumped 14 buses because he said 13 is an unlucky number. So I revered Evel Knievel and found out his middle name is Craig. So he was born Robert Craig Knievel. So my 6th birthday, when Evel Knievel was on Wide World of Sports, it got the highest ratings of anything that the Wide World of Sports ever did. Look it up. It's a huge, it averaged 40 million viewers on a Sunday afternoon just to watch Evel Knievel jump. My 6th birthday, I spent in the summer at my grandmother's house, and all I wanted was the Evel Knievel cycle. I had an Evel Knievel action figure, but it came with a motorcycle that you came on a ramp and you wound it up, and he would do wheelies, it would do flips. I made homemade ramps you could jump it over. That's all I wanted for my birthday. I didn't want anything for Christmas. I didn't want anything for just Evel Knievel stunt cycle. That's it. I go to the supermarket with my aunt who was watching me. We were in summer home, and I see the Evel Knievel big box with the stunt cycle. Beg my mom and my Aunt Margaret to get it for me. They say no. I go out the next day. It's a supermarket, but it's got like toys in the back. It's one of those old time 5 and dime stores that they don't have anymore. Again, I was there for the summer, but every day we're going there. I'm watching this Evel Knievel, and I'm beg nothing. I scream and cry, and you're your parents, so you understand how futile this is. I'm on the floor at the 5 and dime, crying in a pool of my own tears and snot bubbles for not buying it for me. I needed this. You didn't understand. I got dragged out like I was a perp, on the floor because I wouldn't get this. They wouldn't get it for me. I didn't understand why the people that said they loved me couldn't do this for me. It's my birthday coming up that weekend. I didn't come out of my room to celebrate that birthday cake, present, nothing. I didn't want to talk to anybody because they wouldn't buy me this. My mom had bought it for me the week before we came. That's why they didn't buy it for me there. So when I got it, I was over the moon until I broke the handlebar on it. And then I was back to tears and everything. So this was before super glue, kids. So I had to use rubber cement and rubber band to take the handlebar back onto Evel Knievel. So you had the stunt cycle with the Evel Knievel, the right hand handlebar looking like that, and the left handlebar had the big bulbous blob of rubber bands and rubber cement holding the handlebar together so I can make my jumps. So the Evel Knievel stunt cycle was the only toy that mattered, and it went with the Evel Knievel rocket that he used to jump over the Snake River, the Evel Knievel mobile home, the Evel Knievel dirt bike, but all red, white, and blue, stars and stripes, all wheels, all, it was like that replaced Hot Wheels to me, which was the whole Evel Knievel set. So that was my my white Star Spangled Whale.
Oh, that's an amazing. And for those that are not privy, Evel Knievel is obviously the inspiration for those that came up later to Super Dave Osborne. Super Dave Osborne was a comedic take on Evel Knievel.
And the odd
Very
thing,
cool
Damien, is that the jumps that BMX bikers are doing now are 20, 30 yards longer than Evel Knievel ever jumped, in his life. And
But he was the first.
Yeah, he did it first. You're right. Yes.
He did it first. He did it first. Do we have Dan back, or is he still doing his mystery changing?
I think Dan was playing with himself before we went on the air. I
I've
think
been
he went
playing
back to
myself
that.
the whole time, Craig.
And we still have no picture of him.
I know, but
What?
what? You're gonna ask
What are
me
you-
what are you gonna ask me?
Well, the question is okay. Before we get into like why it made the transition to collectibles and everything like that, and how it's kind of ruining today's playtime for kids, is what was your as a kid, not today, not this week,
Well,
your ultimate toy growing up as a kid? What was the thing for you?
well,
Hey,
Damien.
no, I knew it.
Well, Damien. Let me answer your question. I don't know if you know this, but I like Ghostbusters a lot. I can't see shit in this, by the way. All
Are
right.
you going mining later on, Dan?
Hey, what?
Spelunking in your future?
What's going on? Oh, God damn it! I can't see shit in that.
How did they do it?
How pre? Well, theirs actually worked. Mine are fake. So it was Ghostbusters, man. I have a love-hate relationship with my Ghostbuster toys, and here's the hate part. My dad was also a collector, and now I can't turn it off. Oh, I can't turn it off. I swear my toy works. My dad was a toy collector too, and he did the GI Joes and the stuff he grew up with, and he should know better than to do what he did. And I'm going to out him right now on the show. Am I the guy that jumped the legends on Raw? Man, I have no idea what that means. So yeah, sure, Harry. Explain that to me later, Craig. I had every real Ghostbusters toy. My grandmother, I was the first Italian grandchild. So my grandmother, this Polish Italian woman, every day that she babysat me was like, what else can we get him? What else can we get him? What else can we get him? So between my parents, and I had to divorce parents, so I had like 4 different families, I had all the real Ghostbuster stuff. And my prized possession was the Ghostbusters firehouse. And one day, my stepmother and father decided I was too old for them, and they disappeared.
Gasp.
All of them. Everything. All gone.
Oh my god.
This is a true story. I love them both.
You have to.
And I don't have ill will towards them, but every Christmas I like to rub that in with him. Be like, yeah, remember, and it's easier now because he had a stroke, so he can't catch me as quickly. He would appreciate that joke. He's fine. Yeah, so it was all gone one year. Just one day, poof, we threw it out. They gave it away.
Yeah.
But so I have PTSD, which is probably why I bought this.
That's like the equivalent of saying, "Mom, where's the dog?" When you come home.
We
from
took
school.
him
He
to
went
a
to the-
farm.
He went to the farm. By the way, this is a preview of next week. No, I mentioned Dad being a collector. He had all the original GI Joes. I'm talking about 12-inch from
The
64.
12 years
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
And he gave those away to a guy that later got arrested, and he never saw him again.
Oh,
And he never learned his lesson and gave my shit away. And I was like, I didn't
sign up for this.
agree to this. And every time I'm over his house, I always look up the Ecto 1 or the Ghostbusters Firehouse price on eBay. I'm like, yeah, I gave that away, huh? Good job, Dad. I'm fine.
Here's one to depress you a little bit because her family like threw nothing away prior to like her and I
No,
dating.
my father.
Her father.
My mom throws everything.
So
out.
there's
My
like
father
bins.
throws nothing
There's
out.
like bins of toys down there and stuff down there from like way back. And I know because like this is gonna break your heart a little bit, Dan, because we know the value of the Ecto 1.
God damn it.
You know, the Ecto 1 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays, like the original.
Yeah.
So I'm going through all the toy bins once, and I found not one, but 2 Ecto 1s down there with parts missing and hoods, doors, and everything missing. And I was like, oh my god, and these 2 things were solidly put together. Holy shit! You know, it's like a cool find yet depressing at the same time. It's like, oh my god.
Wow.
All right.
I had both of the
Damn, so-
Ecto. I had both the Ectos, man. Remember, it came back out after Ghostbusters 2, and you had the electronic boards you could put the sticker on. I'm just gonna get
Yeah,
sad.
yeah. All right, so Miss Foxy, your
Yeah.
ultimate toy growing up as a kid.
With the Rachel True doll?
I mean, I had a lot of stuff because again, my dad was a garbage man. He worked in like the upper white rich areas of Jersey, and they would throw out a lot of new things. So I got them. A lot of the stuff I had was secondhand. I loved it nonetheless. I didn't give a shit. That means it was great. I guess you could say the one thing that I really, really wanted once that I actually got, because let's be real, even till this day, Barbie 57 Chevy.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like
Vintage.
blue and the interior was pink, and had the convertible top, but I was like down. Gorgeous freaking thing, because it was part of this whole like 50s Barbie line that came out, because they had her with like a polka dot poodle skirt, and you can get the little playset that had a jukebox, which I actually got that too, if I'm right. That was the year my grandmother was like, toys! So, yeah, but like that, I kept that thing around until I was like at least 15, because fun fact, I played with my Barbies up until 13 years
Last
old,
night.
because I don't have a lot of friends. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
Yeah. But they were the 90210 dolls.
Ah.
I used the 90210 dolls and the 57 Chevy. Brenda and Dylan forever.
Of course.
Jesus Christ.
Nice.
You have a tiny peach pit after dark too. I would have loved that.
That would have been cool. That would have been so cool.
Yeah, see, I have to qualify. I have to qualify here now. I said I missed all the '90s stuff. I missed Saved by the Bell. I missed Boy Meets World. But every single week, I went with the class of Beverly Hills wherever they went. I never missed one episode of 90210 or spinoff Melrose Place. I had absolutely no business watching it. Couldn't relate to anyone in that show, but I did never missed an episode.
If it makes
Absolutely
you feel
loved it.
better, a lot of the shows that you did mention, I would only watch be like peer pressure. Like, oh my god,
Right.
you have to watch Boy Meets World. So I'd watch an episode. It's like, this really sucks. I didn't even watch Boy Meets World.
All right.
Full House. It's like, oh.
Also, I'll do this one for all of you because I know you're all chiming.
Nobody else. Nobody.
You missed it. See, did it? Jesus, anyway.
We all did it. Just,
You were late.
We're not coordinated.
No, you're not.
I'm a drummer. Excuse me. I'm a drummer. There's a delay. I was perfect.
I was there.
Okay.
So should I go on with my toy?
Yes, it's
Okay.
recording
Yeah.
again.
Okay. So mine was kind of a tie but the one thing, growing up, G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, and then of course like there was the first big drop of like the WWF LJN toys, the rubber jams.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so the first one out of the two, because again it's a tie near and Mark. The first one out of the two is the first line of WWF toys. I mean, because obviously, well, let's face it. Once I saw that in the '80s, we kind of know where my life went from there. But the cool thing about it is again, it's like I was back and forth a lot between my parents, but I was always closer to my dad, hence why I eventually just stayed with my father, and that's why people know the story. It's just me and my dad. He was in the he would do like oil delivery in like the winter months and concrete delivery in the summer months. So of course the winter months oil was 80s, very good money. So he really he did so well. He just really surprised me that Christmas morning as a kid. I think it was 85, 86 when the toys first came out, and then it was just I got the ring, and I don't know how many wrestlers. The funny thing is, out of all of them, I didn't get Hulk Hogan. And those that know me know I was not a Hulkamaniac as a kid. I was the Dynamite Kid and Ricky Steamboat, and like those were my main two. Dynamite
Perfect.
Kid and Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah.
So I had Ricky Steamboat, so I was already happy. I was like, I got a ring, I got Ricky Steamboat. It was like, and then it was like, oh, I got Randy Savage. Oh, I got Iron Sheik. Oh, I got Nikolai Volkov. He got me like everybody but Hulk Hogan, because I think everybody bought Hulk Hogan.
Right.
But I was okay with this. I was like, I don't need Hulk Hogan. So like that was my first one, and like I could just remember like, oh my god, like just everything else just stayed in my toy chest, and it was just like the ring and the wrestlers. And then, of course, then He-Man became, like, a really big thing. And then, like, she knows, because I've told her, is the one thing I said I wish I could always have back. And I seen a video of a guy get, like, the Thundercats lair. A grown man, his wife got him the Thundercats lair. Brandon somehow found it. And he literally cried. Like, he cried.
Like a little
bitch. It was,
bitch.
like, such an emotional thing to his childhood. And I told her, like, that would be my feeling if I got Castle Grayskull back. Like, I loved that thing so much. Like, it was like, you know, just, and funny thing, there was nothing animatronic about it. It was just decals with like lame artwork and everything like that, and little plastic pieces you pieced into it. But it was like, it was the coolest thing. And the one really cool thing I loved too was like the He-Man sword was technically the key for the drawbridge. Like you put the sword in, like, and then of course, you know, then it opens. I mean, the drawbridge would open regardless. But and as our kids, like, oh, this sword opens it. And then he kind of related to cartoons, like, He-Man never used the sword to open the drawbridge on Castle Grayskull. So what the hell is it? But it didn't matter. It was like so cool. And like those were like the two probably biggest toys. But definitely my LJNs, which is why like whatever we have downstairs, like I've been kind of like working on refurbishing them and making them nice or like that. It's like right now from the pictures I put on Instagram for the Man Cave, I've got the British Bulldogs and Mr. Fuji out, which I think always should have been a pair. They should have turned the Bulldogs here and put them together with Mr. Fuji, but that's a story for another time. And of course Ricky Steamboat. You know, like I have the Ricky Steamboat. I gotta have Ricky Steamboat and everything like that. But those are like my ultimate favorites. And then it bleeds into the subject again, like you said, Craig, and everything like that, or same thing, Dan. Like the toys that we had then like now are collectibles. And like that. And the funny thing is, one of the most highest priced LJN wrestlers is actually the little made alternative Hulk Hogan version, which is basically him with the white T-shirt, white knee pads, and ripping the shirt and everything. That one's worth over $500 to $600.
Wow!
In mint if you find it.
That's not a lot, really.
That's not a lot, really. But so then again, so now, okay, the transition, as I was saying, was okay. So back then, you know, we bought our toys for fun. Dan would be great on this because again, you said your dad was a collector and collected the GI Joes and everything like that. But like now, it seems like the toys that come out, like we watch Toy Fair and everything like that, and we get excited as adults and collectors. But then like occasionally, I sit back and we sit back as parents and we go, okay, but our kids like these, but do we get them and let them play with them? Because I mean, they're toys, but also it's like, it's kind of like the one example I use is like today's WWE figures, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the basic model that comes out that's like less than $10. But of course, all the details aren't there, right? So kids don't want that one. Then you got the next level one has a little more detail and everything like that, and that's like $60, $70. But then you got the elite version, which is the one our oldest son always wants, and that's the one that's about $25 that everybody freaking collects. And some of them, like I had to pre-order. Like everybody knows, our middle child is the dark child, so of course his favorite right now is the Fiend, and we cannot hear enough about the Fiend. I had to pre-order the Fiend figure like what 4 months or whatever before he even came out.
I think so.
Sounds about right.
Like 4 months before he even came out. The moment it was like available pre-order, I was like, okay, pre-order. And then another one he wanted was like Pete Dunne. So I wasn't privy to the fact that Pete Dunne had already had his first figure come out. So I said, okay, well, let me check online. Let me see if I can find it. Sold out here, sold out there, sold out here, sold out there. Mind you, this figure is only a couple of short months old.
Yeah.
I find it on eBay for upwards of $200 to $300.
What?
Because he was a Target exclusive.
Oh,
that more
Lord.
than likely never made it to the shelf.
That more than likely never made it to the shelf. It's going to bring me to the G.I. Joe controversy as well that's currently going on.
So
but,
it's a rarity. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, again, so how do you then, as a parent or whatever, or aunt or uncle or whatever, go justify buying what's now considered a collectible as a toy for children? And how do you feel like it hinders like kids' current playtime? You know what I mean? Exactly. It's like,
I'm at a loss. It's
because us growing up, we were like, "Fuck it, I want that toy," and that was that.
Yeah,
We didn't think it was
exactly.
going to be worth anything, and lo and behold, all the toys like that Evil Knievel thing. Forget about it.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that thing is priceless now. Or even like, again, the Castle Grayskull or the Barbie thing or any of all those real Ghostbusters. They're all worth like so much money now. And had we known,
Yes.
we would have held on to those things. Dan would have held on to them regardless. But
it wasn't my fault.
I get it. But see, and the thing about toys then, they were so, disposable. I had the original GI Joes. I had the GI Joes that were 14 inches, that were like big. They came in a box and with cellophane on it, and you didn't open, and you open it, you rip the box open, and that was it. We had no idea about mint condition and about or we don't. I didn't know what a collectible was. These were things that you played with until the next big toy came out, and then that previous toy was on the floor, gets stepped on by your mom, told I'm going to throw it out or throw you out if I have to step on this again. And Hot Wheel tracks were made for beating my ass. They weren't made for just for the cars. After
you get good.
you were done.
You get
with
good
them.
spin on that.
Exactly. And
not that kind of 14 inches.
Same thing with the cars. Today's toy market is it's a market. It's like it's not. They're not even. I don't even see kids playing.
They're not making kids anymore.
Yeah.
This is what they play with now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it even says it like on a lot of the toy boxes that you see in the stores. It says collectible. It's like no longer it's just collectible, and it's like okay. So, and then she brought up a really great point with the Funkos.
Yeah.
Yes. Are they just made just to be collected? You don't take them out of the box?
She's keyed in on them with the Funkos now because Funko has become, I think, a little bit too big for their britches.
Too commercial.
Yeah. Funko basically decides themselves what's a collectible and what's not, and not necessarily by saying, oh, X amount of these are being made. What they do is they quote unquote vault it. Just like there's the Disney vault where, oh, we're going to release this movie for a bit of time. You can buy it. Oh, and now you can't. It's in the vault. Funko literally does the same exact thing.
Really?
The best example would be a current one, technically, yet not. Years ago, when Funko first started, they had an Ozzy Osbourne Funko Pop. And of course, we're like, oh, that's so cool. This is when Funko's first starting. You could find them literally everywhere and no big deal.
Yeah.
Well, fun fact, they vaulted that, which basically means if you got it, you got it. And that's it. They didn't tell anyone they vaulted it at all. Now, that thing is a super collectible, which bleeds into the fact that they're releasing a brand new Ozzy Osbourne Funko Pop in October via Hot Topic exclusive. And which brings on the whole, if you don't pre-order it, you don't get this version, you're screwed.
Yeah, but I pre-ordered it, so I'm not screwed.
Me too. They've done this to so many Funko Pops. I've looked them up. The amount of Funko Pops I own that I've unboxed, I don't give a shit, that are
same.
vaulted, absolutely amazed me. For example, there was an American Horror Story Funko Pop line of various different seasons. Damien got me my favorite character from Coven, which was Misty Day. Out of all the entire line, they vaulted her randomly. You could find every other pop, but they will pick and choose which ones they're just going to go and say, you know what, we're vaulting that. All of the Disney Bambi Funkos, like a majority of their first waves for obvious reasons, but they will purposely, like I said, pick and choose what they're going to take and vault, and you'll never find ever again.
Here's an example. Gritty. The mascot everybody loves, even though they won't admit it because I'm right and they're wrong. kidding. But the Funko Pop, this is when I learned that if you don't pre-order it, you're never going to get it. Because this guy is now, if you a real one boxed is no less than $50. And I from now on, to me, if I want a Funko, it's like you said. They've made it such to the point where everybody thinks it's collectible. Even though a lot of them I can still go to the store and find. I never had a problem. I got all the Ghostbusters series, the Series 1, the Series 2, and the last movie. No problem. No problem. But after that, now that they say, hey, this is going to be released, I just pre-order. I don't hesitate. I pre-order Funkos if I want them.
And that's the sad thing about it. That's the sad thing about it is like, and again, it's across the board too. Like I did this, like the amount of Game of Thrones Funkos we have is ridiculous. But like what I went through to get some of them, or like I had to like get like reproductions from China just to get certain ones that we couldn't get.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, look, we don't give a fuck about reproductions from China. It's just we wanted the Funko and we got it. Like, but like to get like the original Hound is like $200. One of the Jamie Lannisters is like that. Like a bunch of them, which also again it goes into now what you're saying about if you don't pre-order it, you're screwed.
Yep.
Snake Eyes is one of the all-time favorite GI Joes. So they've got this new line out now called GI Joe Classified, and there was a special edition of Snake Eyes. Came with the Arashikage like banner and a whole weapons thing and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pre-order that bitch, but I waited too long. The day it came out, it was gone in about 5 minutes and already like 4 times higher on eBay. Gone. So that's only the beginning of this whole GI Joe classified debacle that's going on now. The rest of the line was slated to be released as Target exclusives. He goes to Target almost regularly. I said, hey, see if you spot like the Baroness with the motorcycle for me, or even if you've had a chance to spot the other Snake Eyes. I don't care. She's seen none of them. So I'm like, what the fuck? They're supposed to be out. I Google it, and there's a whole thing of people saying, yeah, I can't find them either. Whoever found them, good fucking luck, because I can't find them either.
Which falls into the case of...
They never made the shelves.
They never make the shelves anymore.
They never make the shelves, because what seems to be happening is people that may work there or whatever are not putting them out and then buying them, even though they're supposed to put them out and then buy them during their break. And they're never in and then they wind up on eBay for like way, way, way more.
This has been happening at Walmart with my friend Petey Pop when it comes to the wrestling figures. He goes there, he's a collector, avid wrestling fan. He goes there when they open, when he knows when they're getting the shipment in because he wants to be able to buy them. They don't even bring the box out to put the stock on the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
They basically, whoever is in charge of stocking when it comes to toys, see a dollar bill, and they just hoard it in the back.
And then bleeding into again our own children here. So of course Seth loves his wrestling and Jace loves the wrestling stuff. So now we don't even get them. We rarely get them the toys off the shelves anymore because the ones they want aren't there, and I have no choice but to spend the extra dollars to get it from Wrestling Superstore, so he can have a collectible to play with. And it's like, what the hell? Like, when did toys stop being toys?
When nerd culture became okay,
and it became when nerd culture became profitable.
Yeah. So all those years where in South Jersey, the names you got called for reading comic books and liking Ghostbusters as much as I did, or anything, any cartoon or any nerd thing that I wanted. Too bad. Now we make money off you. It got to a point where I don't worry about the whole collection anymore because I can't.
Yeah.
Because it's not that I don't have the money to spend. I'm not giving you that money to spend. You've priced me out. I compare it to the music thing where these bands will only release box sets together or special editions of albums for $130 fucking bucks. And I'm like, no, I'm good. No, I've heard it before. Thanks.
Yeah.
Unless it's Genesis. They get a pass. But
AC/DC.
well, get ready. Get ready. There's another one coming. So
I know.
yeah. So yeah. I don't worry about the whole collection anymore. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I was just watching that. The last one and the one before all this crap went down with lockdown, the Hasbro Pulse Con, and watching all these Ghostbusters toys come out because of this new movie that might, whenever that decides to come out, please live long enough. I was like, no, I only need about 3 of those things. I'm good.
Yeah.
I also don't have the room.
Is this coming from someone that's immediately sent me the pre-order link for the new Ghost Funko Pop?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you see the keychain mini too?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't order that either.
No, me neither. I didn't know.
No.
Now, here's the thing. Like, in terms of you guys, because like us as parents, like nieces and nephews, they have birthdays coming about or whatever like that. Like, do you guys like have difficulty shopping for toys for them when it's like a birthday or Christmas like that? Like, because of situations like this?
I ask the parents right away because as a professional uncle, and that's all I have with nieces and nephews and little cousins or friends that have kids that I consider, my nieces and nephews, because every year changes.
Yeah.
Because, especially and the age, you have girls, you have boys. I have nieces. One year, it's ballerina stuff, and then next year it was dinosaurs, and then it was Care Bears, and she's older now, so then now it's Batgirl. Last year it was Batgirl rather. The year before that it was Catwoman, and now it's Harley stuff. So but I ask because I can't keep up with trends. I can't deal with it. I got the best advice from my mom, who was a school teacher, elementary school. She taught for 23 years. Every year in Christmas, she would ask the kids, what do you want? What's the big toys for Christmas? What do you want? And she'd write down on the list. And every year, at least 8 different things. And she'd write a top 10, and 9 of them were completely different from the year before. So you can never, there's no one thing. Outside of clothes, picking a genre type deal or a thing, because I would buy them kids books. Now they're all Marvel. Luckily all my closest nieces and nephews are all Marvel stuff. But now it's like, what character?
Yeah. Well, like Harley Quinn's a perfect example because she's so popular in terms of everything across the board. Between kids to collectibles.
Right.
Now, like, have you crossed that bridge where it's like, okay, my niece wants this Harley Quinn figure and everything like that. And then you go to the store and it just, by luck and chance, it happens to be there and you go, this is not a toy, this is a collectible. Do I get it for her to ruin or do I get it because she really wants it? Like, have you crossed that inner debate with yourself?
I have not. I would say if I came across that, Damien, I would say I'm going to get it for you because I care that much about you. Take care of it, I will say. Okay, but
see, that's the thing, you have to add that.
I have to add that. I would never say that before because no one ever told me to take care of my toys. Here you go, kid. It's like, thanks.
Yeah.
And a week later, I was stepping on it or something.
Yeah.
But I would say take care of it, okay? Because you love Harley, I love you, so here it is. Take care of it. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's her toy. So whatever she does with it, I'll even say to her dad, all right, Dave, she's worth it, but I paid some bucks for this, all right? Because I know she likes it. So,
or it was hard to get or whatever the case would be, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm not saying leave it in the box, but keep an eye on this one.
How about you, Dan? Have you crossed that with like getting something for a child?
Yeah, I can't think of anybody. It's a long story. I don't talk to a lot of them anymore.
You're talking about the kids he gave up out of wedlock, yeah.
No, I never had any kids because I was smart. that I know of.
Hey,
Hey.
No, I mean out of wedlock. Not a family. I just meant and leaving.
I just heard him call you guys stupid, but go ahead.
That's not what I said, Craig. I meant as a child.
calling Matt Fremont right now.
Well,
Yeah.
at least somebody will get him to contact me. Oh, Jesus. So I have this. God, I'm going to air dirty laundry. I have a relative who still makes 6 pages of a Christmas wish list because she doesn't know good touch, bad touch about how her age is, and still's like, this is what I would like, spend a fortune. So I picked the cheapest thing.
Like that too.
Here, you know what? Yeah. This is how I buy. If I really like you or really love you, I will get something that I will spend a little extra money on, but I know you love. If I can't stand you, I will do the absolute bare minimum, since in life I get that back from you. I'm petty as fuck. I don't care. As far as little kids, it's weird. To be serious for a second, a lot of my nieces and nephews I don't see anymore because of a family rift after my stepfather died of the drug addiction. They don't talk to me anymore. I didn't do anything. They don't reach out. I tried. I reached out. I tried to keep that family connection going. They barely contact my mom, his wife, my stepfather's family.
Yeah,
that's where all the young kids were.
In that scenario, though, like, okay, say you were in that scenario, though, and you know, like,
I'd tell them, I'd ask them what the cheapest goddamn thing was I can get them, and I get it for them.
But like again, say again, like you were in a position of like, say, Craig, and it was like a co-worker's daughter or something like that. Something you felt like, you know what, I'm gonna get the kid a present. Why not? And the kid wants like the new Harley Quinn thing, and then you go to the store, and again, same scenario. You find this Harley Quinn thing, and it's like, okay, this is not a toy. This is a fucking collectible. What do I do? Like, what? How would you like?
You know what? Honestly, if that's what the kid wants, I don't care. As long as I don't have to witness the beating of this thing I spent money on,
yeah,
I don't.
But that's again, it's the hindsight thinking, right? It's like, oh my god, this is gonna get so ruined.
That's why I say take care of it.
My dad,
take care of it.
To reverse that, my dad to this day, every year buys me the Hess truck.
So did
every
mine.
single year, I have every Hess truck from the year I was born, and unfortunately, the gauntlet was thrown down about playing with those toys because the first one I ever got from '83 when I was born, the mirror mysteriously broke off the one side of the truck, and it was told to me rather sternly to not do that anymore. So from a certain year, they're still all in boxes. Amazing.
And I admit, like again, you know, I get my kids the wrestlers. I'm the wrestling dad, of course, so I get them all the wrestling toys when it comes to Christmas. She's like, when Christmas comes around, she's like, wrestling's you. That's you and and my brother. You guys handle that for them. That's what you do. And you know, since Jace plays with the wrestling toys with him now and everything like that, but every now and again, I don't know. It's like that again. You know, when I was a kid, you know, I played with my toys, and my dad was like, "All right, just don't make a lot of fucking noise." And then that was it. He just didn't want a lot of noise. But like, I hear the slamming of the toys and like that, and I'm just thinking, and I say, it's like, Jace, don't mess them up. Like, I say, it's not even a matter of it's like, yes, it's the noise, but I don't say, hey, keep the noise down only. I just say, hey, you're gonna mess them up. Right. And it's a shame because they're toys. You're supposed to beat the piss out of them.
One of the better examples I can give, because it was an internal struggle for like a week. Seth is a huge AJ Styles fan.
Oh, yes!
And we found for him the AJ Styles figure, but made like the old 80s ones, you know, that kind of moved back.
It's made like the little, the 3-inch jacks.
Yeah.
It's made like the little 3-inch jacks ones that they did now.
You know, it's super cute. It's awesome. And he got it. He's like, well, what do I do with it? I can't play with it. I'm like, well, hang it up then. You love AJ Styles. Just put a thumbtack and hang it nicely on your wall. All right, cool. It was like that for about a good year. And then he started playing an app game, wrestling. And inside that figure's box was this little scan code for the app game that he really wanted to scan. So for a week, can I open it? I just want to scan the code. Can I open it? I'm like,
And we were just like, it's like,
I'm like,
it's a toy, but it's kind of a limited edition thing. It's like,
yeah. So eventually, like, yes, you can open it and scan it to get your free supercard card, and he scanned it, and it turned out to be a card he already had and didn't even want.
Ah.
Oh, good job.
you know, because also WWE's also got that WWE Masters of the Universe things, which I'm thinking is the coolest fucking thing ever. Like the ring looks like Castle Grace, everything looks awesome. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna try to start just finding some of those to collect myself. You know how expensive those little suckers are now, the Series 1 and everything? It's like, I need to vote on that. But it's just like, again, it's like, I do feel bad for today's modern generation of kids. It's like, again, they're losing out on the joy of playing with these toys without consequence. Now that it seems like there's a consequence on both ends. You know, like you give it to the kid, you're like, I don't really want you to ruin it, but I know you really want it. And then the kid gets it, and then they even get apprehensive. Oh, do I play with it or I leave it in the package?
But it's also,
and we never had that problem. Like when we got these toys as a kid, we were like,
it's also a matter though. A lot of things that are made aren't made to be played with.
yeah.
So then their only option is I'm gonna pick up a controller then. Like there aren't really many options of toys to literally.
Yeah, everything is so articulated and they're like that, and they're not made to play with. They're made to look pretty because they'll break if you play with them, and it's a toy. And you know, our stuff was made durable. Even I'm sure Craig, even after you did the little gluing thing on the Evil Knievel thing, that thing still probably had some good miles and jumps in it.
Oh yes. I rode it so much, Damon, until I broke the other handlebar. So yes. It's still Evil Knievel, yeah.
They're so delicate, fragile now. They're not even made for the durability of playing with.
No, yeah,
and
exactly.
So what are we getting hit for doing that? That's why again, this is where the argument was. I feel bad for this generation's toys for kids because they don't have toys.
No.
I'm afraid to breathe on this thing.
Yeah.
You know.
So and then Dan, said, it's true. So now they're only, stop playing your video games. Play with your toys. I can't. I can't play with my toys.
They're collectibles. Yeah.
You brought up the WWF variations. That's the WWF. It's 1996. The WWE Ghostbuster variations. I didn't even bother. There's an example. I was like, you know what? I don't even feel like it.
Yeah.
It's just too much to bother with.
Because that was the other thing, they had the WWE Ninja Turtles, and I was like, hey, that's freaking cool, and all this stuff. But again, you don't play with them.
Yeah.
So and then it creates more clutter on top of that. They're not even playing anymore, not just clutter.
How am I gonna fit the $1,500 Ecto 1 on my shelves that's this big if I get this little thing? Right?
Mm-hmm. Seriously.
That's like my problem with books.
That's a problem with books we talk about so far. Okay. Well, before we wrap this up, let's do the one thing. Because what's the one toy you didn't get as a kid that you did wish you had? Dan, go.
Great. I can't even think of it. Oh, the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. Never had it. Never had it. Wanted it so bad.
I knew one kid that had it. That was it. And the funny thing is, the price margin on it back then, now, forget about it. Because, again, it's a collectible, and even the remake is Lord knows how fucking much. And I saw somebody's story recently, and it completely fucking pissed me off, and I told her about it. The price margin back in the 80s was $100.
Yeah.
No, and by this standards, it was nothing. But the guy was like, oh, yeah, luckily, there was a whatever store there was at that time. It was kind of like a Target of the times, which basically was, upper-class neighborhoods. He's like, oh, yeah, my parents got it on clearance for $20, so I wound up with 2 of them. I'm like, fuck you!
Yeah. Can I have the other one, please?
At 44, I still say, fuck you!
Fuck you.
44 years old. I'm still pissed off I didn't get that thing. Anyway, Craig, go. What do you got? What did you miss out that you wish you had?
Well, when I started, I got pretty much every doll that I wanted. And there really wasn't any that I didn't have that I got. When I first got into, this is a callback, into video games. When I got an my first Atari 2600, and it was like an idea of keeping up with the Joneses. My cousin Sean, we both played our video games, but we stopped playing video games because he got an Intellivision,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
that's all I wanted, Dame. And it was like, and I had a whole library of Atari 2600, and I went to the 5200 and the 7800, and I was Atari. And even when Intellivision went by the way of the dinosaur, the fact that I never got one still pisses me off.
All I ever wanted was a Sega Genesis, but I was in the Nintendo household. And I just wanted the Sega Genesis because of its name.
Yeah, of course.
I get it.
They called
It
Sega Phil.
happens.
Yeah, Sega Phil Collins. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
the Sega Phil
I wanted
Collins.
to say the Phil Collins.
Yeah, but like I want to say. Oh, by the way, Funko Pops. Just real quick. Let me rant for a second. How does early Peter Gabriel Genesis not have a goddamn Funko Pop? But David Bowie and all those other English rockers have one. Peter Gabriel was dressed up as flowers and bat wings and aliens, and not one.
I got that beat.
Point of order.
I got that beat.
Well, there is no David Bowie Funko Pop, only Jarrett's from Labyrinth.
I will subtract the David Bowie comment. 6 degrees of David Bowie. Peter Gabriel doesn't have one.
God damn.
Funko has done every really cool pop culture show so far, except Who's the Boss? And every time I put it on social media, everybody goes, "Yeah, hello, Funko. Where's our Who's the Boss Funko Pop?"
Where the fuck is our Who's the Boss at Genesis goddamn Funkos? I want Phil Collins and Corduroy.
Another 90s show that I never saw. Wow, go ahead.
I can answer the music one. The Funko Pop Rocks collection only comes out approximately twice a year. And when they do, they only offer about 5 to 6 within that collection, unless they are exclusive to certain stores like Hot Topic. So I could actually answer that question for you when it comes to the musical one.
I don't give a shit about the answer. I want what I want. I want a Slipper Man. I want a goddamn... This is what I want. Hold on. This is what I want. This is all I want. Okay? This will take 3 seconds.
Nerdherder fans, write this down.
Right? Okay? That. I want that in a Funko Pop right now. Give it to me.
Wow.
What the hell
Right?
is that?
It's a Slipper Man. It's Peter Gabriel dressed up underneath that, and the guy to the right of him is Phil Collins.
He looks like the guy
yeah.
playing the guy looks like the guy playing Grape in the Fruit of the Loom ads.
I always joke around in those old commercials like, hey, look, it's Pete.
Okay.
I would explain how he turns into an alien, but it would waste all of our times. And his balls.
All right, Miss Foxy, the toy that you wish you had that you missed out on.
It's kind of a generic answer, but
It's the answer though.
more of the main characters of things. I would always get the secondary characters. like my first Barbie was actually Skipper, and that's not even a joke. My first Barbie was fucking Skipper, and it was like,
Wow.
Where's Barbie?
where's Barbie? Or
Jalapeno Barbie. Graceful.
or when it came to My Little Pony, instead of getting the main characters, I got all the sub characters. I eventually got a Rainbow Bright doll, but that wasn't my first. I got one of the secondary characters, or I love the Care Bears and I love the cousins, but I got the cousins first. So
They were better anyway.
They were, but I would have preferred a main character figure. My first She-Ra, she came well after I had the one with the blue hair first. A main character would have been nice.
I have breaking news for Danielle.
Okay.
The director of Hackers is looking to log in for a sequel to the 1995 cult classic. It's being actively considered.
Okay.
Well, Glad
scroll,
glad you brought you all down for that one.
Thank you,
As
thank you,
long as they
Danny.
leave Empire Records alone, I'm good.
Don't touch
Thank
Empire
you.
Records.
Listen,
25-year
Don't touch Empire Records.
25-year anniversary last week.
As long-
Did you see my comment when you said the Empire Records thing?
Yes.
That I actually, that day I was like, oh my god! Like, oh my god! Actually,
Purple-
during quarantine.
Purple-
During quarantine, I came upstairs and I told her, I said, he just liked it.
Purple flavored trash wants a Prince Funko that doesn't have gray skin. Well, isn't that a
Good
point?
luck.
There
Yeah.
you go. What a point that would be.
Yeah.
Prince Funko is.
But there you go. Rush it. I'm going to sit on this soapbox. Rush, the most boring visual band as far as band members ever have Funko Pops. I want Pete dressed up in the red dress, and a fox's head. Why is that so fucking difficult?
Look, it took.
Who's the boss?
It also took this long to
Mona.
get some in one. So
Angela. I have to share with you off air. I have to play this audio. Craig knows it, of our buddy from President Steve doing his impression of Tony Danza reading Harry Potter on the Goblet of Fire.
Oh my god. All right. Well, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we know this was a long one like that, but that is our topic. I mean, hey, we would love to hear your comments on like what you do in terms of your kids or nieces and nephews when it comes to buying collectibles as a toy. Let's hear those horror stories. But that being said, that is our topic.
Yeah, and I guess that's our show. I want to thank all of our participants. Foxy, please find a horizontal space so you can take your much needed nap and dream of Rachel True dolls. Damien, thank you for your insight and your input. My favorite wrestling couple, so we got to talk a little wrestling too. Sorry about the
I
Tegan
was trying to
Knox
throw one
story.
in there for us.
Yeah, that's always good for us. Dan, thank you for keeping us off track and for showing us your toy and playing with your member in that order. Folks, where can people follow you social media-wise?
you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at the same handle at Viva Foxy. That's VIVAFOXY and Facebook.com/FoxyFoxy.
Find me on Instagram at dvargas802. You can also find me my channel on YouTube at dvargas802, which has some of my old wrestling matches and stuff like that, as well as some older Nerdherders stuff. You can also check out the page that we, I keep up with the news a little more, daily on Facebook.com/Nerdherders. Nerdherders Radio.
Daniel?
Oh, me? DanLaw83 on all social media platforms.
That's easy for you to say. My name is Craig Lagans, and you can find me at Craig Lagans, CraigLiggeons, on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. I just thank everyone who listened and looked tonight at our episode of Nerdherders. Join us a month from today for our special October Halloween edition of Nerdherders, where you will see all of us in costume and hear us in costume for your listening and dining pleasure. For all of us here at the Herds of Nerds, thank you for joining us for this time of the month and letting us spew all of our classic nerd goodness all over you. Don't forget to wash the mouth. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Craig,
Yeah.
Craig, you might have heard it.
you my Nerdherder.
Dan, you my Nerdherder.
You're my Nerdherder.
And Miss Foxy, you my Nerdherder who needs a nap.
Aww.
We'll see ya on Halloween.